Hi guys. So this morning, it's an absolutely beautiful morning here. It's one of the first times that we've had like the valley green again and the clouds have come back, so it's really pretty. And I just wanted to kind of go over a couple of art journaling ideas. So May is usually a really busy month for me, and hopefully at the end of this month I'll have a few things to share with you, which should be pretty nice. But I just wanted to do sort of a quick video so you can kind of see what I've been up to in, you know, the few moments that I do have. So I feel like I've lost my tripod for the minute, but let's just sort of recap this moleskin journal. So because I hadn't put the medallion down yet, I'm kind of using it on this Paper Geek Co journal. So just enjoying the colour combo. But let's go back through here. And let's just kind of go through a couple of the things that I've been doing. So I've been using it for writing. So I'm really loving this color combo at the minute. Oh, let me show you. So these are the pencils, and then if you can see here, those are the colors if you're interested. So, but I'm really loving this color combo at the minute, especially these two Prismacolor ones. You can see I am not one for sharpening my pencils, and yeah, that's just, if there's a little tiny bit of pigment there, I will use it till it's run dry. So that is that. But So remember I said I was thinking about journal prompts and how to sort of do some of those. And so I just kind of wrote down a few things, you know, flavor profile, favorite color, and these are just ways that, favorite color palette, and so I just kind of wrote a bunch of different ideas, and then we can go through sort of how I kind of did these. So, and I haven't kind of finished this yet, but I thought I'd just stop in and kind of show you what I've been up to here as well. I'm just playing with writing different ways, using different fonts. What's interesting is different pens make you feel like you want to write a different way as well. Like this is the Lamy, and I always want to use it in this more wispy kind of way. But anyway, so let me just show you the supplies as well that I used. You know about if you've been around here before, you know that I love the Winsor & Newton Gold ink and the dip pen, which I used here. But I've also been using coloured pencils a fair bit, and just really this is sort of a collection it took me, you know, a year and a half or so to get, and just picking the colours by colours that I wanted and trying out different types of pencils. So not actually buying a whole set, just kind of making my own set. And then I have been using, so for everything that we go through, I was using these, basically the mint green and this yellow souffle, or this, yeah, mint green souffle and yellow jelly roll, a 0.1 or a 0.05 uni pin, a Stedler grey, and then this Pitt pen in warm grey, I think it is. Yeah, warm grey 3. This actually acts like a sort of a, what would you call it, like a blender. It acts sort of like a blender over the pencil, and I really love it for that. So let's have a look what I've used. Okay, so let's have a look what I've done here. So I just started out by kind of finishing off this, we talked about sort of in the last video, just little newspaper article. And that's a really nice idea for a page in your journal, to do up the page as like, you know, sort of some different elements of a newspaper. And then here I've just done a little frame for my favorite things. So here, I just started it by talking about food and flavor profile. So favorite foods, it would be salmon and fava beans, or like broad beans. It depends, I guess, where you are to what they're called. And I just also write there, so I just did it all in coloured pencil so that it was, it didn't bulk up, you know, it didn't crinkle the pages. But I also talk about the fact that we don't eat a lot of salmon because it's hard to find salmon that's not farmed. So here I am just continuing on the flavour profile with sweets and some of my favourite sweets. And then favourite fast food would be margarita pizza or a Big Mac. Favourite foods from childhood. And these are just all good ideas that you can sort of use to create journal pages and memories, and keep your memories and preserve them. So my favourite thing to drink at the minute is half a cup of, you know, about half a cup of apricot juice, half a cup of water, and an inch or like probably half an inch of sparkling pink grapefruit, or the sparkling elderflower and rose drink. It's really nice. I can't find it that often, but favorite drink, favorite fruits. Is it favorite fruits? So I put the teacup there because every morning we have orange juice. So raspberries, I love raspberries, but rarely have them. And you know, you might have different fruits like cherries, or you know. And then I've just kind of done sort of quick sketches with the pencils and with my inks. Here I've left a double page for favourite restaurants. I haven't filled that in yet, but that's something as well interesting. Herbs. So one of the things that I like to use in cooking, and it's taken me a long time to sort of even learn how to cook, figure out what I wanted to cook, and why to cook it. And I guess herbs is the thing that helped me to realise, you know, I used to watch, and he would always be like, and I grabbed a fresh handful of this and a fresh handful of this, and I could never figure out how the heck do you know which fresh handful of what, you know, flavour goes with what. But I actually kind of do it now more on, not on flavour, but on like need, like medicinal, what properties do those herbs have. So that's kind of my go-to herb list. But I do recommend, you know, a really good sea salt, because that can even depend like where in the ground that was taken from. That can depend what minerals are in it. A good organic olive oil, basil, fresh basil, and Italian herbs. The Italian herb blend has a lot of, you know, the herbs that you would want in it. And so here we're talking about fresh veggies, or sorry, favourite veggies to cook with. And so I really love the turnip family, but sometimes turnips can be really, what's the word? You know, a little bit sort of sour. And so I really love the Swedes, because, and especially the parsnips, because they're quite sweet. and they're good especially in winter. And then the watermelon radishes are really good in summer for the same sort of sweetness but a lighter. Sorry, I'm just showing you the outside there, but excuse the dirty windows. Yeah, so there's some of, and it's just a fun way to kind of quickly sketch some of the things that you like to cook with and kind of practice sketching. Baby spinach or watercress I really like. And I love as well putting these, grating them raw onto like a salad sandwich as well, or like, you know, sliced turkey, tomatoes, and some of the like grated carrots, grated parsnip, baby spinach. So on this page I have just done favourite, you know, a day's worth of meals, so kind of what we eat, you know, in a day. And then like over here I've done favourite dinner to host, and I've kind of put both Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you could put like I don't like hosting dinners, I rather go to, you know, my mother's house or my sister's house, or, you know, but you might, you know, so it's just, it's completely up to you to answer sort of however you want. I've just talked about how in Australia we would have, you know, a seafood buffet, sometimes by the beach, and in the US we have the roast turkey. So, and then, so the next thing that I did was favourite books. I love books. I mean, obviously, like, books are life, but, so what I did was just a kind of a double page here. Let's see if I can get it in frame. So I kind of did a double page bookshelf, and these are really my favourite. So A Tale of Two Cities, and David Copperfield, and then Jane Eyre, Pride and Prejudice. I've got two of Tessa Kiras's books there, Falling Cloud Breeze and Venezia, and they're actually cookbooks, but I really, really love them. So we have always used basically one cookbook. It's if I think of it, I will flash it on the screen, and that's kind of always been our cookbook, our go-to cookbook. But when I saw her cookbooks, I just fell in love with the photos, and, you know, the styling, and the stories that she puts through there, and so I love those. And so my scriptures, and then Being in Time is a book that I read in university, and it's just a really good book about sort of how to be in society. And then we have the Painted House as well, which I really love, so I'll try and link some of these on Amazon. It's just a really inspiring book, colourful, vibrant, and all that good stuff. So the next page here, I did books that have impacted me profoundly, and one is To Destroy You Is No Loss. I read that at BYU. Goodnight Mr. Tom, my 4th grade teacher actually read that to our class, and it was a pretty sad book, but very, I guess it teaches you a lot of empathy straight up, you know. And then you've got The Little Match Girl, which is just so severe. So, and you know how they're books that I don't like to shy away from. If a book can teach you how to help someone else, then I think it's an important thing. So this is a favourite books from childhood page. So what I've kind of done here is The Magic Faraway Tree, And then there's a couple of those like the Folk of the Faraway Tree, the Wishing Chair, Blinky Bill, Gumnut Babies, Ginger Megs, Dot and the Kangaroo. You get the box sets of the Babysitters Club and Nancy Drew. I Spy, Animalia, the Archie comics, Osborne, Puzzle Adventures, Brambley Hedge, and The Girl of the Limberlost. So I just thought that was a nice way to sort of snapshot some of my favourite books from childhood, and getting older. Favourite quotes, I haven't finished this page yet. Favourite children's books, so some that we have actually at the minute is Brambley Hedge, and I'll show you a little bit of that, and then anything by or illustrated by Melissa Sweet, which we really love her work. And then favourite colours, so this is a really fun one to do. I haven't finished this yet, but I kind of want it to be, a page filled with like little threads and maybe bits of crochet, bits of paper, bits of, maybe stickers, all kinds of things, my favourite colours. And then songs on my playlist, favourite music, and just kind of, some interesting kind of things there. And favourite, like if you've been to concerts, favourite movies, and then favourite like old movies. I really love this one, An Affair to Remember. So they're not actually married or anything, they're both engaged to other people, and it's Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr, and he's got like this really nice old grandmother, and it's a really nice movie. And then, yeah, those are all really good. Children's movies, Hallmark movies. And again, those lists may not be complete yet, but, that's a start. And then I've got kind of here favourite animals, which I also haven't finished. And I wanted to either like paste in or paint, so that's one thing. You don't have to draw everything. You can like take a photo and put it in, you can cut out a photo, you can print out a photo, but it's also a fun way to kind of just practice sketching and practice things like that. So that is what I've been doing in this book. And then in this book, I am still collecting those Greek stamps, which I'm really loving, and so I'm using this book in kind of a similar way, but I kind of was doing some stuff here for practicing for a tutorial. Here I actually went through my wallet because I was looking for things to put in here, and I found this old pass from like years ago, like 10 years ago, from when they had this Ferris wheel put up at South Bank in Brisbane. And then I also found a receipt from getting my cousin had a baby, and we ended up getting her this gorgeous what's it called? We ended up getting her this gorgeous tutu with like sparkles and flowers and everything, and I found the receipt for it. So, and then here I'm just talking about the movies. We went to see Endgame and finding this really nice cinema that we found. And so here I've put in some silk dupion, which is kind of a thicker silk, and it's got like little slubs in it. You can see those. And I really love this silk. It's usually used for like cushions and things like that. And then just a scrap of mulberry paper, which you can tear the edges and it comes out really nice. I'm not sure what this kind of paper is, but I've kind of just put this around the... I took the cover off the insert and I just kind of popped this on there. I have some of these. I'm not really a huge fan of the warnings on these, but I do like the product. So, but my sister got me that for my birthday, so again, I'm kind of doing a similar thing in this. This is kind of more art journaling, and I've kind of done sort of secret writing on here. I mean, it's not secret, but you just can't see it unless you have the light a certain way. And just the back of the insert. And I want to kind of stitch that somehow at some point. And then we have this insert. I actually got these, let's see here. So I got these Jane Davenport, magic wands for like half price at Michael's the other week. So I was just kind of swatching those out and having a little play with those. So that is basically what I've been doing and how I've been using everything. And so what I've been kind of doing is when, you know, if I've got more to say than it goes in my Maverick for that day, I either use, you know, one of these depending on, so either the extended moleskin or the kind of Travels notebook inserts, depending on how much, you know, I want to write or which shape I want to write in or which paper. But just before I go, I want to show you kind of through a couple of these books in case you're interested. And this is one that wasn't on the list, but it is a really nice book about Beatrix Potter. And it shows photos and some of her illustrations and just some really nice kind of thoughtful snippets of her life. And I think that's like the house. And so it's a really nice book. And then I love this quote: "The lords and ladies of the last century walked with me along the garden path." And then here is Brambley Hedge, which is also, it's kind of a similar book to Beatrix Potter's books, but the little adventures that the mice go on are really interesting and exciting. And so the detailed kind of rooms and the tree houses that they live in are very elaborate, and it's just a really, really nice book. Well, actually, this is the all the books that she's written in one, but it's just a really nice collection, and she wrote it the way she thought society should be. So she's put a lot of thought into like the manners and how they treat each other, and just all the little special things. Like on this page they say they took the old vole home first, and then at the end of pretty much every story, and then they fell fast asleep. So it's really good for night, like for bedtime, because they go on this kind of exciting adventure, and then it always ends with them comfortably at home and tucked in, and then they fall asleep. So it's really nice like that. And this one's a really nice story, The High Hills. It's about this little Wilfred, and he wants to go on this adventure, and it's got some of my favourite quotes in it. He is kind of reading about this old explorer, and he wants to go and take all his equipment, and it says, and his lip began to quiver. And then further on in the story, it says that the stream which ran through the valley below like a silver ribbon. I really like that, in the moonlight or something. It's really nice. And so there's just lots of different stories and different adventures, and it's just a really kind of the way that she's done all the illustrations, and she thought about all of the flowers that would be you know, would be flowering in the different seasons and everything like that. So she did a lot of work that way. And then the whole kind of book finishes with bless their little whiskers, the little three little babies. So it's just a really sweet little book, or, you know, collection of books. And then here's one of Melissa Sweet's books. So we have a lot of them. I just kind of grabbed the first one that I found, and they're all kind of done like this with the little sort of scribbles and the different colour swatches. It's really, really fun and informative for children. There's like, you know, there's a whole lot of sort of, she blends academic things and scientific names of things with, you know, colourful and things that children can kind of understand and conceptualize. So it's really good like that. And yeah, Some Writer is a really good one. It's one of it's about E.B. White, and it's one that she's just recently brought out. It's a really nice one as well. And so then this is the Enid Blyton, the Enchanted Woods, the Faraway Tree ones that I was talking about. I used to love these. And Moonface and Silky, Dame Washalot, and they would always go on these grand adventures up this big tree. So it was pretty fun kind of a book as well. And then this one I forgot to actually mention, which is, you can see how well loved this is when I open it. It's completely come away from the spine. Where My Wellies Take Me. So Michael Morpurgo wrote this about his wife when she was young, where she lived and kind of the surrounding areas and the adventures she went on. And she picked, so his wife Claire picked the poems to kind of match that. And the illustrations and the way they've done everything, I mean, it's really, really lovely. And there are pages that open up like this one. There are vellum pages, which I'll show you in a minute. There's like maps that you can open out, and I think that there's like envelopes in there that open out and things. Like, it's really, really full of inspiration and just real imaginative sort of things as well. Pretty special. And so I think that about wraps it up. I'm going to show you a couple more books now, annotated versions of Jane Austen's books. So they're more like coffee table books, I guess. They're more decorative, or I'm not sure, but I got one for my sister a few years ago, and then she got one for me this Christmas. There are some other books that I'd like to show you through, like Tessa Kiros's ones. They're downstairs, so I think I'm going to do them in their whole own video, and kind of do some other things. And this was just supposed to be a really quick video, but yeah. Here we are, half an hour later, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.